Marking. Airport in Chicago and Dallas and Atlanta posted several disruptions, with more than 1,400 flights delayed as the pilots retaliated against violent crossfire. Videos posted online showed begin craft runway across a runway in the airport, staff fighting to rescue equipment. Meanwhile, the National Weather Service confirmed multiple tornado touchdowns, including that covered half-mile path in the destruction through the rural Arkansas. Several described burns shattered like paper and vehicles tossed into ditches. Climate analysts warned it could be parts of growing pattern. We have witnessed storms in the yield with energy level capable in a nearly seasoned hurricane, said Dr. Marcus O'Neill, a leading atmospheric researcher. Their frequency and intensity are no longer anomaly. They are becoming in the new normal. Authorities continue to urge residents to stay indoors, avoid flooded streets, and stock essential supply to storm pushed towards northwest, threatening millions more with the dangerous conditions.
Dođi ovdje unutra ajde, unutra odi, dođi ovdje.
This week, Alaska was hit by a rare fierce wind that brought hurricane-force winds, heavy rain, and dramatic gales breakup, resulting in billions of dollars of meltwater rising down the rivers in the state capital, Juneau. The system caused significant damage from the inside passage in the south-central communities, forcing people to evacuate, halting ferry service, and leaving thousands without power. In Juneau, a sudden release of water from Suicide Basin above the Meteorologists glacier caused the record rise in the river level significantly exceeded previous night. City officials, with the support of federal agencies, installed the miles of temporary barriers, including Hesco-type earthworks and southern walls, with the officials said prevented much more damage in the hundreds of property overthrown roads, riverbanks, and the small bridge were ordered to damaged by debris. Residents were temporarily evacuated, with the emergency service monitoring the rapidly changing water levels. Elsewhere, hurricane-force wind uprooted trees, tore off roofs, and damaged power lines in the Anchorage and in neighboring areas. This week, a complex of change in the weather system swept across the United States, causing a separate but related nozzles from the tropical Atlantic and the Pacific Northwest coast in the glacier of Alaska. Forecasts are tracking the rapidly intensified tropic system in the Atlantic and unusual August atmospheric rivers heading toward the Cascade Mountains and the dramatic glacier-like outbursts from the inundated part of the city of Juneau. Each of these events dramatically demonstrated how different elements of the climate system can combine exactly button local risks. Atlantic air wind rapid intensification and wide range submarine impact. Tropical storm injuring had rapidly intensified it and moved across the warm waters of the Atlantic and forecast to become a hurricane later in the week. The storm's impact fell in the form from the Yakima Valley to Columbia Basin, where they went through the orange need to standing water threatening late Aprils and hoops. Fish biologists also experienced constant about the salmon's spawning grounds to rapidly rising streams, erode fragile gravel bottoms. This is powerful burst of energy and difficult to young salmon and the windsland. Meteorologists linking to even to atmospheric river to cloud subtropical mist to calibrate the deep low pressure system of the coast, which can square the surface several days with the rain in the middle of hour. Officials urged residents to avoid flooded cars, roads, check on the neighbor and prepare to few danger on the ground or remain unstoppable. As the sky clear, attention turns to recovery, restoring power, clearing debris and reinforcing river banks before the next Pacific rain arrives. For many Washington residents, the storms was a stark reminder changing coastline on the community ability to come together when it's matter cost. The economic impact have been profound. Small fish farms and other farms have been severely affected by the increasing salinity. Citrus, orange and vineyards planted in weeks as standing water, which have led to root and speech of the decrease. For the many seasonal workers and independent shop owners, even the short clothes theatering their livelihood, which already based on small profits. Scientists and planners have all of the storm stuck. Example, the study rising sea levels, warming air, clouded drainage system make Florida particularly vulnerable. We are seeing complicating effects, sea level rising, raising the baseline, and a heavier rainfall in the feeling that the use be safer buffer, said the coastal resilience researcher. Political debates over dune zoning and upgraded drainage system will undoubtedly intensify and communities tell the damage. But amidst the ruins, they are small but resilience and the hope. Volunteers cut off fallen oak trees and a chainsaw during the day and deliver hot meals on the night. Volunteers walked through the night, placing standards around the area when the water ceased slipping through. This system was built in the centuries to come, warned flood manager Diego Cho, and the river is reminding us for the earth. In the Salas and Pacho valleys, farmers waded through the roads and flooded strawberries and lettuce, dealing the direct blow in the state winter produce. Further east, heavy wet snow blanket in this side. Sierra Nevada went turned into rain, wetting out roofs and triggering avalanches to meltwater, thunder it in a catchment bases below. Chris in a truck reached Salt Lake through cleared water pipes, knowing the clogged pipe cloud load in the area and imagine a broken dam. Hospitals treated hypothermia, burns and carbon monoxide poisoned from the user generators indoors, shelters filled with families with pets and garage bands to belonging community organization 100 up traps chanting to hot metals. Official reappeared to all refrain, turn back, don't draw, and the drivers tested their lack in blanket rule. Forecasters said that this situation, warm seas, saturated soil and suggestive storm turned original rain into crisis. When the skies finally clear, California will face a long day ahead, draining heats, inspiring dams and bridge, testing wells and inspecting system and detailing crop losers. The alleged task will remain strangling the state with its likely mine water and a composter falls 100 in the state longer with the wall recovered on the maps. The Mediterranean has become a beginning ground the super-changing storm, said Dr. Elisa Conte, a climate researcher at La Suspended University. Social media filmed the dramatic video showing lightning illumination the Coliseum, have covered the Spanish steps, and a water cascading down incident starways. In some neighborhoods, power outage left hundreds of homes in the darkness for hours. Authorities have urged caution a cleanup continuing. Rome major paralyzed emergency crew for the rapid response plan optimal the city again drainage system remind the major vulnerability. We must adapt. This is a new climate reality, she said. For many Romans, the storm severe as a powerful reminder for even the eternal city is not immune the growing fury the extreme weather. As Dame broke, sunlight related the city sorely scarred the still standing resilience as ever. The Mediterranean has become a beginning ground the super-changing storm, said Dr. Elisa Conte, a climate researcher at La Suspended University. Social media filmed the dramatic video showing lightning illumination the Coliseum, have covered the Spanish steps, and a water cascading down incident starways. In some neighborhoods, power outage left hundreds of homes in the darkness for hours. Authorities have urged caution a cleanup continuing. Rome major paralyzed emergency crew for the rapid response plan optimal the city again drainage system remind the major vulnerability. We must adapt. This is a new climate reality, she said. For many Romans, the storm severe as a powerful reminder for even the eternal city is not immune the growing fury the extreme weather. As Dame broke, sunlight related the city sorely scarred the still standing resilience as ever. This week, a powerful storm swept across much of Alaska, bringing hurricane-force winds, coastal waves, and a dramatic glacier collapsed the flooded low-lying area in the state capital. Emergency service working throughout the night and clear routes, restore power, and reinforce riverbanks with the community's assessment the damage. In January, a long-awaited breakup of the Mediterranean glacier caused meltwater to flow into the Hill River, leading to record-high water levels that flooded yards and damaged small bridges. Authorities are now with it that a hospitably constructed system temporarily buries protected hundreds of homes from much worse damage, and the residents are urged to follow evacuation instructions to weather warning. For the west and across south-central Alaska, storms wind knocked down trees, power lines, and forces of cancellation and flights and ferries. In Anchorage, a surrounding area's crew responded to dozens of wind-related incidents, and thousands of people were briefly left without power, and key transportation links were disrupted. This week, the United States is experiencing unstoppable weather, from the intensified Atlantic hurricane threatening coastal waves to intense connective outbreak to inland areas and unusual late summer atmospheric river reporting to flood in the Pacific Ocean coast. The variety of northern hurricane-force winds to the sea, torrential rains, inland flash floods, and destructive winds gas is testing the resilience of emergency service and highlighting now the definite parts of the country must prepare to the very definite threat at the same time. In the Atlantic, tropical storm Cyclone Injuring was quickly developed into lamp track system and the forecast to become first hurricane of the season this weekend in the same most west-north across the one way. Forecasts say it could rapidly intensify, complicating planning for the island communities to the coastal area along the West Atlantic and Bermuda when the center does not reach in the East Coast. Broad waves and a threat to reach current could cause dangerous south to the coastal flooding in some areas on the East Coast. Official and meteorological services are urged residents to closely monitor updates.